Howdy. I thought I try to state an example. I cannot mark anything here, but you can see volcanoes and earthquakes. Mach 4.5 Greenland north of Svalbard 18 minutes ago. Mach 6 earthquake Greenland north of Svalbard 7 minutes ago. But these happened many hours ago. So now let's click on the one with magnitude 6. Let's see, does it stay at magnitude 6 or do we experience any change in the magnitude? It got downgraded a little bit to 5.8. Okay, so where are we? I haven't watched this yet. And I took a screenshot of that, just in case. So now let's hop over to the application. So now, where are we? North of Svalbard. Are you kidding me? Really? Do we have an earthquake swarm at the North Pole? Let's take... Can we turn... Yes, but there aren't any quakes anymore up there, probably. This volcano you don't see very often. East Cackle Ridge, Submarine Volcano. Minus 3,800 meters. Eruption stat unspecified. The Cackle Ridge is a slow-spreading oceanic rift that forms part of the northern continuation of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, separating the North American and the Eurasian plates. But you can read about this if you want to. But, 15 hours ago, 2.7. 84.7 degrees north. Oh, that's really north. That's something significant, I would say, that we have this kind of earthquake activity up in the north, which is really north. Like, this one is barely visible. Really interesting. Really interesting. For those who don't know, our magnetic North Pole is somewhat here. What does this say? Maybe we have to go over to Google Earth. But first I want to check again this one. 84.7. 84.7. 84. What's going on now? Aha, that's really interesting. Something has been erupting here. Wherever we are, Teschengilsler Hochland. But now, photos of map style grid lines. (84.77 degrees east). 84.7. Sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to understand, 84.7. 84, 3, 4, 5, and now we are already. Because these are minutes, they stop at 60. How can it be 0.7? I don't understand. East 7 degrees. somewhere here was the quake. Let's try to keep that somehow. Somewhere here it was. And the magnetic North Pole is somewhat here. So we want to know the approximate distance. And I want to point out that this earthquake has been more north than the magnetic North Pole is obviously at the moment. So let's try to measure something. Where's the Cackle Ridge? I could go to Maverick Star Reloaded to get the exact location of the North Pole, but it's approximately here. And the quake was approximately here. So it's about 1,200 kilometers or something apart. Really interesting. And if we zoom out, the action is going on here, up on the North Pole. Actually, we could check out Null School. Here we are, Null School. A really, really, really good website. Now we are looking at wind at surface, but we want to know the most highest winds we have here on this application in order to get somehow a glimpse onto how is our polar vortex doing today. Is this really the highest what we get? 10 hectopascals? Yes. Really? Really? This is all we have? No wind. A little bit. 52 kilometers per hour. Okay, now let's zoom out and watch the South Pole. This is the North Pole, just in case. Greenland, Scandinavia, Siberia, Siberian traps, and so on. Canada. This looks very strong. It looks compact. It looks in a way smooth, how to say. There is a little bit of interference going on here. Maybe we should take out those. Where are those again? No. That's not really. No. So, South America. Here is something interesting. I'm not exactly sure what this means. El Niño. One of these, maybe, or something completely different, something new, which are things that we might have to expect. But as we are already here, we could check out sea surface temperature anomaly. First, we want to go to ocean, and then we have sea surface temperature anomaly. This is something really interesting. I haven't been watching this now for some time. This looks really bad for everyone who was expecting a spring. or summer in Europe this year, or good weather. Because, for example, 9.3 degrees too cold off the coast of Newfoundland. Somewhere in this area there has been some time ago. I have to draw maybe a circle because it's a quite big area. I'm not sure exactly where it happened and who reported on it, but there was something going on there. Ash plume, steam plume, something a little bit odd. And maybe you have to turn the grid on in order to see the flow directions, but now we want the currents. Now we can see some direction of from where to where the water is flowing. Even though it might be not that clear. But I think this is really, really interesting. Why is it so much too cold? What is going on? 5.1 degrees too cold. 4.6, 2.9. But check this out. Here it's really much too cold. 10 degrees. 9.9, 9.7, 10.1. Yeah, I would call this a sea surface temperature anomaly because it's 10 degrees too cold. 10 degrees too cold. Yeah, I didn't expect this. that's something. And that's also really interesting. This region here, which is too warm, obviously. What do they tell? 2.8 degrees too warm, 3.3, 3.5, 2.7, 3. And it is below the barrier between Norway and Iceland, from where we don't get any warm air up here, which would bring summer. For example, to Scandinavia. We have hot spots in the ocean or Pacific. Uh, 2.7 degrees too warm. Wherever we are, somewhere in Finland, maybe, or maybe not, I don't know. It's not too accurate, this current map. I have been making videos once, or at least I made one video because there's somewhere here, I don't exactly remember. Is it between Spitsbergen, Svalbard, or is it between here? Somewhere we have these ocean streams. No one really knows what they're doing, why they are there. But let's check quickly something out. Is there anything? Air, chem particle space, bio, BAA. Isn't that bleaching alert? Yeah. Do we have still bleaching alert in Svalbard? Yes. Yes, we have. Bleaching warning in the Arctic, which is still, for me, really interesting. Why? What? I just would try to tell that it's really dry here. There has been many fires today. As I noticed, I talk about weather. I thought we could check out windy. I didn't really have time today, but no clouds. Like there's big regions with no clouds, and we have to remember that we have the Kursk magnetic anomaly and the surface conductivity anomaly, which goes something like that. And that's the positive. Maybe I have to make it like that, change colors. So red is positive, charged, or northwards, or however you want to put it. There is one dot here. And then we have negative somewhere here. And I think that this region is more and more influenced by Earth's weakening magnetic field. That's why it's somehow really interacting with the weather, because we don't have any clouds here, like sparsely, some few, but it's really dry. There's nothing raining, even though there's some clouds coming here, but they dissipate. There's nothing coming down. It's really, really dry. So I would expect that we will experience both extremes, extreme dry and extreme rainfall, that once it will just pour down and everything it just gets flooded. All those grounds with clay layers where the water doesn't drain fast through it, they will get flooded. And also there is in Germany and Central Europe, there has been some issues about droughts, and now they have what dust storm in the Netherlands, and a few hours later floods. I don't think there hasn't been any dust storms like that in the Netherlands ever. It's crazy. And after that, like huge downpour event. And the next one is already coming. This one, I think it will turn into Central Europe in the evening, night. Now we can see where has been lightning until now, the last 12 hours. The brown spots, yellow or black spots are those which got hidden the most. You can also see volcanic eruption on this and many other funny things. Yeah, this seems to start to spin. And I think it's really fascinating to watch how fast they are moving. Approximately that speed. 2, 3, 400 kilometers per hour. I don't know. We could measure it. Maybe it's not that fast. 100 kilometers. But anyway, the energy gets transformed really quickly. Almost instantaneously. As for his two eruptions with the sun, if there's something happening on the sun, a big eruption, it has instantaneous consequences for planet Earth. Instantaneous. So we have to check out later on what's going on with this. If it turns out that it turns into Europe, there might be quite something going on this evening or this night, and we can watch tomorrow again those videos from Germany, France, Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Poland, and so on, Spain, Portugal. And this is now going on for at least a week, every evening, huge thunderstorms in Europe. I think there's quite much damage been done already. Fields are flooding, crops are drowning. Did you know that Bethlehem means somehow the village of bread? So soon there will be many, or not that many Bethlehems, but places where you find bread. They're going to be important again, like they have been back in the old days. I think it's a funny coincidence. But anyway, I leave it here. Thanks. Bye. Take care. It's raining in many places.